I'm coming at you with another concept from my intuition class that I wanted to bring up and teach, which has to do with the idea of following your bliss. Is one of the concepts in intuition of following a flow of what feels good to you, because you specifically have your own natural energy signature that's interacting with everything around you, and you're the one that can feel when something feels good or doesn't. And we've been trained out of that for the most part, or taught that we need to force through things and tough it out, and even if it sucks, we're going to do it. To a point, there's effort put in, but you want to actually feel in alignment with something first. And a lot of times when I bring this up in class, people are like, whatever, if I followed my bliss, I'd just sit on the couch and eat cake, and like I wouldn't even lift my eyelids to watch Netflix, you know. It's so tired. But the truth is, you probably wouldn't sit and eat cake forever. You know, you'd eventually dust yourself off and try and do other things. But also, a lot of times intuition leads us to do things that we require effort, require getting up and doing something, but they feel in alignment and they feel right. And this is something that I have come to recognize and be able to tune into pretty well at this point in studying my intuition. So I want to give a couple examples because I think it's an important topic. Basically, that it's not all about just indulgence, if you will. It's about following a flow. So this is the idea that sometimes when I am unsure about an activity that I feel called to, but kind of the logistics are bumpy, or I'm feeling kind of tired, I'm not really sure if I'm right on the fact that it seems like and feels like the right thing to do. If it requires waking up in the morning at a certain time, and I could kind of go either way, I'm not really sure, I will say basically to the universe, whoever's out there, like, wake me up. If this is in my alignment, this is my highest good, just wake me up at this time and I'll know and I'll go. So yesterday I had a family event in an area called Grays Harbor. So I live in Seattle, and Grays Harbor's out on the coast. So it's about a 2-hour drive to this event I was going to go to, maybe. And leading up, it was family reunion. So leading up to it, I had talked to my mom and sister, and they were maybe going to come, and we were planning on doing this together. I'm not a huge fan of driving, so it's going to be a 2-hour drive each way. And I already had plans in Seattle in the afternoon. So this was going to be driving down just for the morning. So from like 10 to noon, be at this event, and then hustle back to Seattle for something that actually started at 1, and I knew I'd be late because of traffic in addition. So I go to bed and think, all right, but what happened the night before is my mom and sister both bailed out on this trip for different reasons. Either like too tired, not up for it, doesn't sound good, blah, blah, blah. So I go to bed thinking, all right, everything's kind of changed. Do I want to do this or not? If I wake up at 7 naturally on a Saturday morning, I will go. And so what happens? I sleep well, wake up, and I'm thinking, man, I kind of been laying here in reverie. I bet it's like 9. I'm sure I missed the reunion. I just feel like so good and relaxed. Let me check my phone. It's 7:03. And I was like, oh, okay. Do I want to do this? Basically, long story short, I'm out the door just before 8 and in my car on my way to this event. And what happens is the drive down is a piece of cake, and I have really good experiences. Basically, I meet up with some family members I haven't seen in a while. We talk about some important, nice things, and I just feel very connected and loved. I get out of the city, which is something I really knew I needed. I get a big old dose of nature and trees because we met at this park in this really pretty area that's very natural, and there was no cell phone reception because it was just so far out away from everything. It was really nice, and I just felt loving. And the other thing that was fun is I found out about another arm of my German side heritage, and there was this photo of this woman named Gretchen who totally had my eyebrows and my hair, and I was like, wait a second. And it turns out there's a lot of dark curly hair going back, because I get kind of teased about how I look different from the rest of my family, but turns out I look like a lot of people who I saw in the pictures yesterday. So I had a really good experience. Head back to Seattle, kind of get crushed by traffic, I'm not gonna lie. But on the way there, I have an intuition that tells me I think I'm going to get to this event about a third into it. So it's a 4-hour lecture basically about intuition. Abraham Hicks, for people who are into it. And it's cut into thirds. And somebody tells me I'm going to walk in right before the second third, basically. And so I just do my best. I'm fighting the traffic. Everything's taking forever. People are going so slow, or cutting me off, or like not making the light, that kind of stuff. And I just kept thinking, this is just my perfect timing. I'm just going to keep going. Finally get there, finally park, finally walk there. Totally hot and sweaty day, and grab some water, take a pee break, because I've been in the car for 2.5 hours. Walk right in. just before, just at the beginning of the second half, and had absolutely incredible things come up in this session about things I'm going through in life that were super helpful. So basically, mega flow day started with that kind of wake up call at 7 in the morning, and I went with it. That was a lot of activity. That was a lot of effort. It was a lot of driving. It was a lot of socializing. It was a lot of learning, and I had to think ahead, and I didn't really get to eat much and came home pretty tired, but I felt very in a flow and had such a satisfying day. And I just wanted to put that out there. That is the example. And I actually have another waking up early, but this video is long enough. I have another waking up early story that I'll share one time that determined whether or not I was going to do something, and it was absolutely wonderful that I did. So intuition isn't all about just sitting on your duff eating cake on the couch. If you're following your flow, sometimes you're really asked to do effortful, positive, interactive, community building things. Okay, take care. There's my thought.